Hi there, and welcome to Around the OrkneyBowl Extra. It's a little extra show, which will be on a Thursday night, so we can keep up to track. It's just myself and Martin, two Scots boys. One you'll understand, and one you probably won't. How's it going, Martin?
It's good, Johnny. How are you today?
Well, apart from my voice and everything else, it's not bad, but at least it's not a live show. So
Yeah, this will just be like an extra. We will try and do it weekly, but it's more for what doesn't get picked up on other shows. So hopefully it will be weekly, but if there's not a lot to talk about, we don't want to just put out a show for kind of minimal reasons, but we'll try and make it weekly.
yeah, well, we'll try and have like a matchup of the week. We'll talk about a game of the week, maybe. And
Yeah,
a little predictions thing with the games if you want for a laugh.
a bit of competition.
Oh yeah, because we have a lot of games to pick from.
Definitely.
But yeah, so we'll let you go first. Obviously, first off, we're going to talk about the quarterback. So who you think, like 1, 2, and 3, your ranking for like a top quarterback, mid-range quarterback, and flyer at the end, sort of thing.
Yeah, so we're just doing this quickly before the draft, before everyone gets started, and we're just going to talk about a few players we want to talk about. So for quarterbacks, we picked 3 each, and the first guy I'm going to talk about is Baker Mayfield. And the main reason is he's just outside that top bracket. Like we all know what the top 5 quarterbacks are. And Joe Burrow is an interesting guy. I think he's definitely worth taking if you're going to get that stack with Higgins and Chase. But if you're not going to get that, I really think you're best waiting. You'll get a few rounds discount and you'll get Baker. And I think Baker will put up really similar numbers as Joe Burrow. I think he'll be like a diet Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I've got him in a lot of places.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I just think his draft capital, his cost will be worth it. And then second, I'm going to talk about Justin Fields, who I've drafted him absolutely everywhere. I think me and Craig are the same here. We drafted him, trading for him everywhere. So when he got that injury, we were both pretty scared. But thankfully, it's ended up being nothing. But he's another one. It's just draft capital. Like he's not going as far down as he was, but he's still. I think if he's sitting there at your 6th, 7th, 8th, you know, that kind of place, he's a movement quarterback. He gets those rushing yards, and yeah, he won't get quite as much passing volume, but I think he's definitely worth having the flyer on him if you're wanting to wait on the quarterback position. What do you think of Fields?
I'm not a fan of Fields. I know he is good for fantasy, but yeah. Although later on, I'll pick one of the players who'll be throwing the ball to, so hopefully he does that. But yeah, he did well last year, and he got a bit shafted with that one because he was 4-2 or something like that. And then he got dropped. Like, why?
And then at the end of the season, when they were off, in the pre-season, when they were off trying to keep one of them, they didn't want to keep Rodgers, they wanted to keep Fields. And if Fields was like, well, you had me, then you dropped me. So no, I'm not going to stay. I mean, the Steelers are really, they've got issues, the Steelers, now. But yeah, I think Fields in fantasy, and what I like about it as well is that it's him and nobody else in that room. He's going to, even if he has like a bad game, he's not going to get dropped. You know, like you're going to have him unless he gets injured for the full season.
Yeah. Oh, was it Mason? Is Mason Reed also there? No. Who's a backup to Fields?
I'm really not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It's not looking good.
No, he went something. Is it? He's quite far out. Oh, that was last night's list.
Well, what I'll do is I'll talk about the third guy while you're checking that, because the third guy is another running back who should be great at getting rush yards if he sees the field. And that's the issue. This is why he's like a third guy. This is a guy to take a flyer on. And it's Milroe of the Seahawks, who they drafted this year, and he will be behind Sam Darnold. But this all depends what you think of Sam Darnold, I suppose. I mean, do you think he's going to play as well as last season? Because if he does, Milroe's not going to see the field. However, if you don't think he will, and you think there's a good chance he'll get dropped for a rookie, like after maybe 6 weeks, I think their bye week is actually, I think it's 7 or 8, their bye week. So that's when it would probably happen, week 7 or 8. Then Milrow, like everyone's saying, this guy's got the rushing potential. Like nobody's seen. Like this guy's meant to be even like Lamar Jackson kind of level rusher, eh? Like nobody's saying he's going to be Lamar Jackson, but for fantasy, these rushing yards that quarterbacks get, it just raises the floor so much. So, and you got to remember, Milrow's going to be a very, very late round player. He might even go undrafted in some divisions. Who knows?
He will, because it's a one quarterback league, so he probably will go undrafted.
Yeah, so like
pick up in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to kind of, I suppose, as I'm saying, you could leave him if you're thinking, right, they won't put him in until his bye week, and then you go, right, his bye week's week 8, I'll pick him up week 6. You could do something like that, or last pick of the draft, I'll take Milrow and I'll see how things work out. Personally, I've been drafting Milrow quite a lot in a lot of places. Fields and Milrow are in quite a lot of my teams. So, yeah, that's my 3 quarterbacks to keep an eye on.
Cool. Well, just to let you know, Justin Fields' backups are Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, really?
Adrian Martinez.
Is he a rookie?
Brady Cook.
Well, so yeah, it looks like
Adrian
Fields is seeing.
Martinez is 2 years. I think he must have signed with the Jets. Yeah, he was a Jets third string. And maybe Brady Cook's a rookie? Yeah, Brady Cook's a rookie. So it's not looking pretty.
Yeah, so Fields is going to see 17 games unless he's injured. So, like, again, another value. But I'll let you talk about your quarterbacks that you think are worth thinking about in the upcoming draft.
And for points-wise, Baker Mayfield was third highest scoring quarterback last year.
Oh, was he?
Behind Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson.
So that's an Orkney scoring.
Yeah, he scored 4 points behind Joe Burrow.
So he is, well, there we go, he's Joe Burrow light.
So, well, my first quarterback, I hate to do it because it's obviously, I'll go for Jalen Hurts. I was going to go Daniels, but everybody will sort of expect that one. And Hurts does get his he can still got his push-tush, so he can still get his points for the first down and scrambling goal lines and points and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? And he will have to air it out at some points because surely Bartley can't carry on what he did. But when you've got AJ Brown one side and you've got what's his name? Smith on the other side.
Yeah.
Smith on the other side. And off the top of my head who the tight end is, but Dallas Goedert, who's another good bloody receiver he should have been in my list actually, but never mind. I completely forgot. I've got him in a lot of places, and obviously as long as
you can always stick him in late. You can always stick him on. You can always stick him in.
Yeah. I'll probably stick him in the second one. But
yeah, I like it.
I have him in a lot of drafts. I am in a lot of drafts, and obviously I vary between. I don't think I've even got one Josh Allen, and I've got Lamar Jackson a lot. I've got Daniels a lot. I've got Hurts a lot. I've got Mayfield and a hell of a lot later on, like 7, 8 rounds and stuff like that.
That's great value.
It is because he's a slinger, and you've got a running game that helps. He just likes to toss it all over the place. But that's my number one. Number 2, we're going for another enemy. Dak Prescott. I know. An eagle.
Are you just picking all the quarterbacks you wish the Giants had?
Well, it's just because we're playing against the Giants, you might as well. Well, like I say, he's got CD Lamb, got Jake Ferguson, he's a very good tight end. Running backs are a bit.
But he's got Pickens now as well, hasn't he?
And he's got Pickens. Whether Pickens can catch a ball or not is a different matter. But surely he was totally lost interest when he was in Steelers. So I think he'll do well in Dallas. I hate to admit. So they have a good offense, and it is a hard division. But they're going to have to throw the ball up because there's a lot of good defensive lines in that division.
Oh, so definitely. Like Dak. And he's going really late. Like Dak, you can get up. Like you can nearly take as, like, let's just say so there's 12 quarterbacks to start in each division. Dak might be the 12th one that comes off the board. He goes really late, so like he is somebody you can like kind of just pick up a bit later on.
Even the 15th or 16th off the board is something. Some teams aren't even picking him as the number 1 quarterback. So it's
which shouldn't be happening, but you never know.
Last year he ended up Did he miss games last year? He must.
Yeah, he got injured. He missed half the season.
He's away then. And my third choice, my old favourite, and you've noticed I've drafted him a lot of places, Matthew Stafford, because he do scheme him well, and he does toss the ball about, and he does get points. So he maybe going for the older quarterbacks as long as he can stay healthy. Then
see, this is the one guy
you took bloody Milrow because I would have picked him.
Well, this is where I was going to say. This is where, for me, this is where. See, if you're thinking about having a guy on your bench for a second quarterback, not everyone does. Some people do. I would rather take the punt on Milrow than have Matthew Stafford. But that's just I could be totally wrong here. I'm just not high on Stafford this year. But like I said, you've drafted him in a lot of places. You're high on him, so I totally understand it. Like, I could be totally wrong on this.
He was the 19th highest quarterback last year, so in the range of the second QB.
So, all right, okay.
Yeah.
And he wasn't great last time. So
no, he had some good games, some bad games, but I think he tried to force it to Cup too much, but Cup isn't there anymore, so he might spread it about a bit.
Well, he's got Davante Adams now and Puka, so he's definitely got the weapons.
It's an upgrade. And I love Cup. Cooper Cup's a brilliant player, but yeah, it's just not the way it was.
Yeah, Davante Adams, I really like Davante Adams. Like, I think we're talking about like how Baker's a lightweight Joe Burrow. I think Adams in the draft, he's a lightweight Puka. Like, a lot of the time, I'd rather maybe not take Puka and get Davante Adams later on, just for the discount.
Yeah, I think I've not got Puka in many places, to be honest. Plus, you can't stay healthy that much either. But I just know that's my three. So a bit different. Go for the older ones, two of them.
So what's our next topic? What position we're going next?
The running backs. So surprisingly, nobody's gone for the one that everybody thought we'd go for, or the second one everybody would go for. Your apparently is called Bijan, not Bijan. I saw it the other day, but so you go for the guys then. So.
Well, I've went for HR, and it is for the pass catching. Like, I just think he's going a bit. Well, it'll be interesting to see where he goes in Orkney. Actually, I think he's going to go. I'm hoping. Where did he go? Fifth.
He was ranked fifth last year, and
he was ranked fifth overall. But for the draft, I'm not sure where he's going to go. I think in some divisions he's going to drop to the second round, which will be a great value. See if you get him in the middle to late second round. I think that's I think you have to take him at that stage. Like, you just have to pick him up. But I think in a lot of places he's going to go more. I think he could sneak into the back of the first, if I'm being honest. So it's not like somebody you can really. He's a guy where you can't really plan to take him unless you're going to take him in the first round with your first pick. It's just kind of waiting to see where he drops. But he's just all those balls he's going to catch. You know, he's just such a safe player. Everyone's worried that he's going to get injured. He's not been injured yet. So, I mean, I don't think that's enough to put you off for me. I really don't. I think Achan is going to be brilliant this year. I really do. What about you?
I haven't drafted him much this year because in the drafts I've tended to go for Bucky Irvin instead.
All right, okay.
So awesome. When it got to like the second, third round, he is good, but I think just sometimes he has. I know he has the big, great runs. A lot of time he gets stuffed on the line. So the pass catching will help, but he doesn't break through as much as he probably should. I mean, Tua was out, he didn't do much.
Yeah, well, what happened there? Tua was out, so they weren't passing the ball. So what everyone did is they stacked the box, and Achan against a stacked box, not very good. So he is linked to Tua. You're right. He is linked to Tua. If Tua stays fit, Achan could be the running back one though. Oh, that's the thing. He could be the top scoring fantasy running back, and if you're getting him in the second round, that is great value. Even if you're getting him at the end, I think the earliest he's going to go is the back of the first. And if you, like I'm saying, if Tua plays every game this season, Achan's got a really good shot at being the number one running back, especially in Orkney squad.
Well, he's not going to make out the second, unless it's a crazy draft. But yeah,
no, he's not.
If you tilt your head while me, it looks like you've got a ponytail at the top of your head.
It must be one of the pictures.
Yeah, it's a black thing in the blue. It looks like a ponytail. I was like, oh, for God's sake. Anyway, never mind. What's your next one?
My next one is going to be, well, I like my light players, like my diet-sized stud players. And mine, and this next one is, I would say actually, and this is not, even though he's an older player, so he was the original maybe, but now he's not as good as Achan now. But Kamara, he is such a value in PPR, and I had him last year. He carried my team. He was brilliant. He got injured at the end, sadly, but yeah, Kamara, he is your diet-sized Achan. So if you miss out on Achan, pick up Kamara, because seeing PPR scoring, and even more in Orkney, he's a cheat code. And there's nobody else in that Saints team. They've got a rookie quarterback who I think is just going to be dumping this ball off. I think Kamara's going to get, it doesn't matter. Like, Kamara could get 12 receiving yards. Who cares? He probably caught 6 balls to get them, Like, he's going to get so much volume. Like, and don't worry about his age. He's got a 2-year contract. There could be no, people are saying, oh, it might be a shared backfield. Nonsense. They just paid him a fortune. He is going to run and catch these balls all day for the Saints. And wherever he's going in drafts right now, is he a 4th rounder, 5th rounder maybe? He is and then Orkney scoring, he's a great pickup.
He is, but I think, was there not one game, was it maybe last year, the year before, where he caught 12 or 13 passes for something like 20 yards? But
in fantasy, you
got loads of points. Yeah.
And
it's a bit better, that one.
But that's his floor though. Like, he doesn't have to put up a good game. He's gonna, his floor is he's had a bad game. He's caught 7 balls. Well, great. He had a bad game and he caught 7 balls.
True. But then obviously Kelly's man, he'll not be pushing him for a spot if he gets injured. That'll be Devin Neal that'll be come up second, I think. Kendra Miller, the love affair, I think, is finally gone between him and Pork.
I think so. And my final running back is going to be, I had him last year and he killed me. You got to remember last year, Travis Etienne was a 2nd round draft pick. And I drafted him and cried myself to sleep every Sunday. But this year, he's fallen too far in my opinion. Travis Etienne is he's a ball catching running back. And I think he has fallen too far. I get he was a total bust and he didn't look great. But you've got to remember, I think there was 1 year, 2 years ago, Travis Etienne finished 3rd overall of all running backs. It was 2nd or 3rd.
He had a lot of catches.
Yeah, but he's shown that he can do that. I'm not saying Travis Etienne is going to be the 3rd overall running back, not at all. But he's fallen so far in drafts right now, Travis Etienne. He is the last starting running back drafted in drafts right now. I think in Orkney's... Sorry?
2023 he came 3rd behind Brees Hall and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, so he's fallen so far now. I think Travis Etienne is just at his value. Just pick him up, I think he's a great value. And I'm not being funny. I've not heard anything. I am not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying, if the Cowboys decide they want to get themselves a running back, Travis Etienne would be one of these running backs that is available. I could see Travis Etienne getting traded to a better, maybe a better opportunity where he will get more of the ball as well. Travis Etienne's a trade candidate for a lot of teams. So we'll see what happens. He could end up traded, But even just taking that out of the picture, I just think he fell that far. He catches the ball. He's got to do better than last season. He can't play any worse, So I think where he's going, I think he's a great value. I'm not saying this, I'm not saying draft Travis Etienne and start him as your running back 1. Not at all. But he's a great guy to have sitting to plug in, And who knows, you might hit gold,
I'm trying to figure how far down he was, but I can't see him.
Oh, well, he was injured. As I'm saying, he had multiple injuries as well last year. He got injured twice and stuff, and then he played injured. So nobody really knows. Only he knows. I think he's the only guy that knows, because he got injured, missed time, came back, played injured. So, you know what I mean? But where he's going, there's no risk. You know what I mean?
Talk about a fall from grace, though. 4th of the year before was Rashad White, and he ended up 23rd last year. Because Bucky came along and took him over.
Yeah, Bucky took his job. So you're going to be talking about Bucky, or you got different running backs to talk about?
Obviously, I got my man. Everybody knows I draft him everywhere I can. It's Jameer Gibbs.
Right, you're going to have to sell this to me because I'm very worried about this Detroit offense and Gibbs. Like, I'm worried about how much they're going to be able to run the ball. But do you think that, right, they might not run it as much, but because of that, they're going to need him more and they're going to need him to catch more balls? Like, I'm kind of just because of where he's going in draft, I'm worried to draft him.
No, I'm not worried because obviously the number one man for the catching the ball was Amon St. Brown. But he does get injured quite a lot because he usually gets the hospital balls. Jamar Gibbs does get a lot of catches. There's a few games last year he had 7 receptions, 5 receptions for 7 yards, 83 yards and a touchdown. And if you get him a little screen pass in the open, they're not going to stop him. He's so bloody fast. I think he was the fastest runner last year with the ball at 24 miles an hour or something like that. So
that's crazy.
He's just so skillful, and I know he can run between the ball as well. I wish he would get more goal line touches instead of David Montgomery. But
so let's just say, like, I'm like in my draft in my division, I'm the 3rd pick in the draft. Would you take him? Would you be happy to take Gibbs 3rd overall? So let's just say Chase and Bijan went 1 and 2. Would you, or even let's just say Bijan's still there? Maybe Saquon goes 2nd. Would you be happy to draft Gibbs over like a Bijan or a Saquon?
Bijan.
Bijan.
Yes, I would. I would take Gibbs at 2nd.
So he's your number 1 running back?
He is my number 1 running back, yes.
Wow,
Barkley's a great player, but there's no way he can do that again. Kenny's got a great offense, but bloody hope not Henry being a Giants fan. But yeah. Bijan, you don't know what you get with Atlanta because Michael Penix is a bit. Yeah. Well, see, I think they're still. I know they're playing a lot of outdoor games as well this year, and they will be running the ball a bit more. Because Golf can't throw outside.
If I end up taking Gibbs 3rd overall, then he kills me this season, Johnny. I've got it on tape. It's recorded. It's on the internet. It'll be here forever. You will forever be blamed.
I think in the Pork and Pez fantasy draft that we couldn't do a show for because somebody couldn't do a bloody backup. Did Duke not pick Jameer at 101?
He went 101. He went first. Yeah, he did.
So there you go then. I'm not the only nutter.
No, but Duke's not selling it to me. You're selling it to me. You're saying yes. So
I am. I've got him everywhere I can, and he's my only keeper in my home league. And that was not.
So is there anyone else you like in the draft running back wise a bit maybe lower down?
Well, yeah, but we're trying to keep away from the 1st, 2nd round.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go James Conner.
Oh, I like that.
He defies the odds all the time. Yeah, and he must be about 90 by now, but he still runs like he's 20. He's a great passer. He seems like he's been around forever. He does. Kind of the Steelers, and then he's found the home of the Cardinals. I mean, he is the all-back. You've got Trey McBride, but he is mainly the offense.
Oh, he is the offense.
But he, for the last 4 years, if not more, he has been the offense.
Oh, everything that they do is around him.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's a great player.
And last year, he actually caught quite a lot of balls, which really made him quite safe. Like a lot of it, he's one of those guys that people often think about, like he's like Henry a wee bit. You think like he doesn't catch the ball, but last year he caught quite a lot of balls actually, but it's raised his floor.
Yeah, I think the year before, I think when they had no offense apart from him. I have to look back a bit. I think it was maybe 2022.
The one thing I will say to people about
2022, they caught a lot of passes as well when they had no other offense. So,
I'll happily draft Conner. I like him where he's going and all the rest of it. But the one thing I will say to people is that don't plan to have him as your number 1 running back either. If you're like, just say your plan is to draft running backs later, because the problem with Conner is that last year was the first year he never got injured. It's the first year he ever played a full season. Like, he always misses games until last year was the first season he never missed games. So when you draft Conner, be prepared that you're maybe going to not have him for a couple of games at some point, because history tells you that is going to happen.
Take his back up in the second round.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's a bit off topic, but do you like to take backup running backs from your own running backs, or do you like to try and get somebody else's?
Well, funny you mentioned that. In the JTT Cup, I didn't get Pacheco, but we're in the later stages now where I really can't be bothered. So I picked up Hunt, Mitchell, and the other rookie running back.
Oh, so you picked them all.
And 3 rounds in a row, I thought, we're in like round 20, 21, 22, whatever. So I've got my team, so I thought I'll just pick them all up. Like so if Pacheco has a bad year or gets injured, I'm sorted.
See, there's some guys where, like, see if I draft Kenneth Walker, I do want Charbonnet. See if I was to draft CFC, I would want Garendo. But they're the only two. See that everyone else, I would like. So even if I've drafted Connor, I would try and draft somebody else's running back, because I think it's just like because you can really hit gold if that happens. Like, but
one of
like
the charity ones, it might even be my one. I got CMC. I've got Garendo further down. In the second last pick, I took the rookie running back.
Oh, the rookie.
I've got all 3 of them. So I've got the running back for 49ers. I'll probably draft somebody else in, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, see, like, just say you've got Connor and you draft Benson. The problem is with Benson is that actually he didn't. I know he didn't. He barely got any snaps last year, but see the snaps he got. I think he averaged like 6 yards a carry. So, but that it's such a small sample. See with Garendo, any running back in the 49ers offense always hits. So at least if you know CMC goes out and you play Garendo, you know you're going to get really good points. It's the same with Charbonnet. You know, if Ken Walker goes out, you know Charbonnet is going to produce loads of fantasy points. See the rest of these backup running backs. Even if you pick the backup running back for your starting running back, you've no guarantee that they're actually going to actually produce a lot of points. That's why I think you're actually better off, other than these 2 or 3, you're better off just taking somebody else's and trying to gain a position.
Yeah. And my final running back is from a dumpster fire. Javonte Williams.
Oh no, Port's not going to be happy. The cowgirls are getting killed.
I wanted like far back in the draft as I could, and potentially he's the number 1 running back, but nobody will pick him. And
I think he is.
I think the rookies have been slagged off, have been pretty lazy by the coaches. So he might buck up. And is it who's the other one? Is it Miles Sanders?
Sanders, aye.
So
Sanders.
And Williams, when he first came out, was really good. Again, he's had a lot of injuries, but he's a hard runner, and he'll need to be a hard runner in that division. So,
you know why I like you bringing up this guy is because I think he's a great pick to have as just like a backup running back on your bench. Like, I would not be starting Javonte Williams, but see, just to have somebody on your bench where, like, just say you get an injury, you get stupid injuries, like, and folk forget in fantasy, stupid injuries happen. Like, a guy trains all week, and then he goes to use his microwave, and it blows up, and he's like got a cut finger, and he can't play 2 seconds before a game starts. Javonte Williams is a great guy just to plug in. You know what I mean? Because he's probably going to, Javonte Williams is probably going to get at least 12, 14 carries a game minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's just a great subtype.
He could end up with the goal line carries as well, which could be handy.
Yeah. So. Like, I don't know how many balls he's going to catch. Like, I'm not sure about that. But like I said, I'm glad you brought him up, because from where he's going, he's just a free pick to have on your bench. You know what I mean? And if some bizarre bizarre injury happens, you just plug him in, because you know he's going to start, and you know he's going to see a lot of snaps. Happy days, eh?
Yeah. So we'll go on to the wide receivers now.
Right. So I'll let you start this one, Johnny. You start wide receiver, because I've started the last 2. I'll let you start this one.
Well, obviously, I have to go for my man Jamar Chase. The boy is just the boy is just a freak. He's so talented, it's unreal. I mean, you got Joe Burrow throwing the ball. What can you say? I mean, he sells himself, and obviously he was Everett's number 1 pick last year.
Well, see, in my opinion, Jamar Chase, if he never played the Ravens twice a season, I don't know, I think he'd be pretty average, eh? I think it's just because he plays the Ravens twice a year. And he gets he plays them twice a year, so he gets at least 10 touchdowns over those 2 games against us. So if you were to take Chase's games against the Ravens out, I think you would find he's quite average. So
yeah, but But he does play the Ravens twice, so I'm not taking him out just for that. It's on my team. I'll play it. I'll drop him the rest of the season. I'll just play him against you.
I'd score 1 billion points. Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah. You see, what points did you score against the Ravens last year then?
Was it no like 60s? In Orkney scoring, I'm sure he got like 55 and like 65 or something. It was a lot of points.
So the first one, 51.80.
That's disgusting.
12 or 10 catches for 12, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then you got to kill me with 67.65.
Oh, it's disgusting.
11 catches for 17 attempts, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
To be fair, in the defence of the Ravens defence, right, who would have known Jamar Chase would have been the number 1 target, eh? I mean, how could you have ever thought that was going to happen, eh? Honest to God, man.
In fairness, all they have to do is hope that Burrow gets injured, because the year before he only got 10 points each game. But the year before
See, the thing is as well, Higgins being fit, that helps Jamar so much as well.
It does, because Higgins is a great player too.
I know you can't ignore him. Like, folk are like, oh, just put 2 boys on Jamar. Oh, well done. Because when that happens, Higgins goes and scores 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, you know? So you can't do that, eh? Because he'll kill you, know?
Then if Higgins misses a game, then you've got Gesicki seems to go off.
He does, eh?
Is it Higgins at the place, Gesicki to number 2?
Yeah. So who was that? That was Jamar Chase. Who's your next one up, Johnny?
Well, I've got
who's your next one? Your telephone to draft.
I've gone for an old man for the next one, and obviously it's your number 1 quarterback's favourite wide receiver.
Can I guess his name? Oh, I was going to say Johnny Edwards because he was old, but never mind.
Thank you for that. Yes, Mike Evans. I don't even really have to sell him because he's had that many 1,000-yard receiving yards, and they say Godwin could miss time.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that Godwin injury, it does. It makes Mike Evans more draftable now. Like, I have to admit, I'm not drafting him. I think it's funny. You know how, like, and this won't be for everyone, but you know how, like, you get players you like, and like players or like a group of players you kind of want one of them. Where Mike Evans is going, it's in an area where there's like other players I'm kind of wanting. So it's not so much. It's just where they go and draft. Say, like, there's other players. So I probably won't draft Mike Evans this season.
Well, you know, I don't usually pick up a wide receiver till about the 4th or 5th round anyway. Like,
so that's where he's going, isn't it?
Yeah,
roughly. So he's.
I think he's 5th round. So.
The thing is, though, like, you just know he's going to get at least 1,000 yards. Like, the Bucs offense is like, it will come to the end of the season and they'll just throw him 20 balls a game until he gets his 1,000 yards again. Eh? So,
and the Godwin being out is Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton, because he's going quite. He'll go higher this year after last year. But I always seem to draft him every year. So
I've seen you drafting in a few leagues, but I've seen you being drafting your Cortland Sutton.
But over the last few years, I've always drafted Cortland Sutton. No reason why, I just have. But yeah. But anyway, my third one. What's that?
Sorry, the good thing about your first 2 though, see Jamar Chase and Mike Evans, that like, you might have to pay something, but you might have to draft them a round earlier or a few picks earlier, but they're quite easy stacks. Like, you can draft Mike Evans and Baker together quite easily.
Yeah.
And just because of the top quarterbacks, you can actually get Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow pretty easily. Like, you might need to take Joe Burrow a wee bit earlier than what you normally would, but to get that stack, it's actually up. So your two wide receivers are good because it's quite easy to stack them with their quarterbacks. Like, other wide receivers, not so much.
Yeah. I think it was in the FFCC, and I took Mike Evans hoping to get Baker in the next round, but I'm pretty sure Murph pinched him 2 picks before. I'm pretty sure he knew who I was going for, and I said, "You bugger." But plus, he's very high on Baker too. But yeah, my third wide receiver, I've gone for a rookie, and Torrey Horton. Torrey Horton.
So who does he play for?
The Seattle.
Oh, he's at the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about this player, so I'll let you lead here because
I don't really know too much about him. I just, how you just fancy somebody to do well. I think he's a tall player. I think he's a big player. I have to try and find him.
Is it more his situation you like? Like, so that means that you think he's going to get an opportunity that other people aren't seeing?
Yes. They got him in the 5th round. He's quite speedy, apparently. Obviously, you've got Cooper Cup. You don't know what you're going to get with Cooper Cup. You've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and after that, he's 6'3".
Yeah.
He did 6'3", 185 pounds. He did a 4.41 in the combine. So he's not slow. And I think he's behind Cooper Cup at the moment. Well, they've got Marcus Valdez Scantling as well, but come on.
I agree with you though. I think you're right. Like, I would much rather take a guy like this over Cooper Cup. Like, I wouldn't draft Cooper Cup this year at all. So I agree with you. Somebody else has got to catch balls. JSN can't catch every single ball. So I've got a player coming up later on, which is a similar idea to you. It's not so much the player, it's the situation you like, because you're out on cup. Who's going to catch these balls? And so, yeah, I like this Corey Horton because the situation could be you hit gold,
And you'll get him the second last round or the last round in most drafts.
Oh, really?
Unless you listen to this and believe me.
Johnny, you're going to get sniped for all these players.
Oh, no, I think Page is quite high on him too, actually.
But Page high on a Seahawks player? Really? Oh, jeez.
He's not biased at all.
No.
Actually, I would have went for my own man, Neighbours, but with the quarterback situation at Giants, I wasn't wasting a pick on that one.
Right. Well, I think we'll get to my 3, and I'm going to go first. CeeDee Lamb, and I love CeeDee Lamb. And if right now I've seen CeeDee Lamb go I've seen him go early second. I've seen CeeDee Lamb fall to the second round, but that's a crime. See if CeeDee Lamb fall into the second round, I don't know, just take him because that's a crime. But you can get him. So because sometimes he drops, he's a late round. He's a late first round pick, which means you can pretty much, if you want CeeDee Lamb, you can take him, because he's going maybe 7th. Kind of depends, but maybe the 7th, 8th pick. Sometimes dropping to the start of the second. And what I really like this season is obviously Dak's back fit, and him and Dak are great. And CeeDee Lamb, was it 2 or 3 years ago? He was the number one wide receiver with Dak in the whole fantasy. So the ceiling is there. But see Pickens coming. Don't misunderstand what's happening with Pickens. Pickens coming is a good thing for CeeDee Lamb. Don't be like, oh, that's going to take volume away from CeeDee. No. Lamb, this is going to open up this offense so much more for Lamb, I believe. So I actually think Pickens joining is a great thing for Lamb. And we were talking, just because of where he's going, you've got to compare him to other wide receivers. Justin Jefferson's got this, was it a soft tissue injury, which these things can linger sometimes. These can linger. Yeah, they can linger a whole season. Yeah. So if you're in between Jefferson and Lamb, see, for me, I thought it was close, and I was more on the Lamb side. But see, now with this soft tissue, he's got a rookie quarterback. I love that coach, though. That's that Kevin O'Connell. I do love him, But I think CeeDee Lamb over Jefferson is the pick to make.
I was always taking Lamb over Jefferson anyway, because you know what quarterback you're getting. They've been together for so long. They have a great chemistry. And like you say, you don't know what you're getting with McCarthy. So it's hard to tell.
Well, a wee sneaky inside information here.
Addison the other day. So.
Well, with my 3rd overall pick in my division in the draft, I am considering taking CeeDee Lamb with the 3rd pick. So
last year he was in ADP. He was number 2 behind Christian McCaffrey. That didn't fucking work out. The year before he was 13th.
Yeah, but I know you wouldn't be disappointed. Yeah,
that's going to be an awful one.
Yeah, he was. Well, I'm saying he was number 1 year as well.
I think, was it not 2023?
Was it 23? He was number 1.
Because the first year of the OrkneyBowl, he was just amazing. Yeah, the first year, him and between him and Prescott, you were probably getting about 80 points.
Aye. Oh, and this is, well, we're talking about stacks. If you're wanting to stack, CD Lamb is another guy you could stack with Dak Prescott. And like, see if you're just not that high on it, you're thinking, right, but I don't want Dak Prescott as my number one quarterback. That's fine. Dak Prescott's going that late. You could draft a higher quarterback that you like and take Dak near the end, just in case he's really good with a stack. Like, it's not like you're giving up a lot for Dak. You know what I mean? It's actually that's an easy stack to do as well, because you're paying nothing for it basically. You know, you can still take a high quarterback if you really want to. Take Dak later on as your second quarterback.
I would quite happily have Dak as a number one quarterback though, and Baker. Our
Yeah.
two first choices, I'd be happy to have them later on, the middle of the round, picking up Dak as my first QB.
Yeah, definitely. If I ended up with Lamb, you know what I mean, you would be happy with Dak, because it's the same with all these stack quarterbacks. See, the minute you can get a stack, it makes a quarterback better, eh? Like for fantasy, like it just makes them more appealing, eh? So even like, just say you drafted Justin Jefferson, suddenly JJ McCarthy, you're happy to have JJ McCarthy as your starting quarterback, you know? You're happy with it.
So the one thing though, if you take Lamb, which you probably will tomorrow morning,
maybe
in less than 12, just over 12 hours, what round would you be aiming to pick up Prescott?
I've actually, Johnny, I'd really have to have a look, so I won't say a round, but so I reckon the way the drafts are going to go, you're going to get like the likes of Baker and Bo Nix are going to go after these top 5 quarterbacks. You're going to get like Baker and Bo Nix, and then after that, I think there's going to be a few rounds, and then that's when you're going to get the rest of these quarterbacks coming off. So that's when I would aim to take that Prescott. If I had Lamb, I'd be kind of waiting for Baker and Bo Nix to kind of go. And maybe Drake May's really weird where he goes. Sometimes he goes with Baker and Bo Nix, sometimes it's later on.
I think the running thing for May was the second highest runner last year or something like that.
Aye, scrambler or something. Yeah.
He's running for his life, but yeah.
So yeah, I think if you're planning a stack, if you're planning a stack with any of these later quarterbacks, so JJ McCarthy as well as another one, see once Baker, Bo Nix, maybe Drake May, if he goes that early, when they go off the board, you kind of want to be getting ready to take your quarterback. And it is worth going around early if you're worried about losing out. You know what I mean? It is worth it. And the good thing is as well, see if you miss out on Dak Prescott or JJ McCarthy for your stack. It's not the end. Like, yes, it'd be great to get the stack, but it's not like you've planned your high picks around getting a top quarterback. You know what I mean? You're missing out on a later round quarterback. Kyler Murray's going late. There's other guys you can pick up. Justin Fields, I've talked about already. He's going later. I mean, so if you miss out on your stack, don't worry. You know what I mean? With these Dak Prescott's, JJ McCarthy's, you'll get somebody else. And I suppose we've talked long enough on that. We better move on. I'll talk about Jennings next, who I think I thought Jennings was really going to fire up boards, and he's not. I actually thought he was, but it seems people are quite high on Pearsall actually, or people just think Kittle's going to get a lot of the ball and they don't think Jennings will. But where Jennings is going, and I'm going to mention my 2 back-to-back. I'm going to mention Jennings and Downs. So Josh Downs of the Colts. These guys go in back-to-back rounds with each other. They're both later rounds. So in a lot of leagues, I've drafted Jennings and then I've drafted Downs the round later. So it is possible. Sometimes they go in the same round, but you can, if you went earlier on Jennings, you could definitely get Jennings and Downs on your same team. They're going later on. And I just like the volume they're going to get. In my opinion, Jennings is going to be the wide receiver 1. That doesn't mean he's going to get more touches than Kittle, but he's still going to be a wide receiver 1 who's going later on in drafts for a good offense, a Kyle Shanahan offense. I think Jennings is a great pick, and you're not worried about injuries. Like I know Pearsall had an injury, which wasn't anything to do with sports. You know what I mean? The guy got shot. But even if you take that out of it, he's had sport-related injuries as well. Like, so for me, Jennings and Pearsall are going around about the same place. I would much rather have Jennings. I think he's just a safer pick. And Josh Downs, yes, he is a riskier pick. Josh Downs, that Colts quarterback room, God knows what it's going to be. Nobody knows. But somebody's going to have to catch these balls. And Pittman's another guy who's just always injured. Or actually, he's worse. He doesn't get injured and go on IR so you can replace him. No, he plays 10 games injured. So you can't drop him, and he gives you like 5 points. Honestly, Michael Pittman, didn't draft him. Honestly, the guy should be going undrafted in every league. Because if he just got injured and went on IR, it would be better. Instead of playing injured with a bad back for 10 games, So that's why I'm high on Josh Downs, because I think he is going to get the volume, even if the quarterback room is a bit worrying. What about you? Do you like Jennings? Do you like Downs?
Well, Jennings, yeah. Jennings in a best ball I would definitely pick, because there'll be some weeks you'll have an absolute monster game. Well,
but remember where he's going. He doesn't have. He might be your third wide receiver.
And Kittle can't stay fit. He's usually injured at least 1 or 2 games as well. But in fairness, provided he stayed healthy, the number 1 wide receiver in the 49ers will be Christian McCaffrey.
Well, this is true.
Apart from that, yes, I would take maybe 12, 13 round if you're still there.
I think the thing with Jennings as well, though, remember in Orkney you've got to start 3 wide receivers. Like you have to start 3. This is like you don't. It's 3 wide receivers and then you've got 2 flex on top of that. Yeah. So we're having to start 3 wide receivers. I think Jennings is a great guy to have in that 3rd wide receiver spot. I think he really is, and Downs as well, actually.
Yeah, just Downs is a funny one because he'll have good games and then you just won't do anything. Depends who the quarterback is. Because last year he had good games with, was it Flacco? And he was bombing it downfield and he was catching them.
yeah.
And then, of course, you've got Alec Pierce, who's probably better than Pittman at the moment, too. But he can't
see the problem with
either. But then you've got
the problem with Pierce is though the problem with Pierce is that it's 1 pass for 80 yards and a touchdown. Like you can't plan around that. That's the problem with Pierce.
But then you've got the new rookie tight end toy that might get a lot of targets as well.
Well, talking of tight ends,
Jonathan Taylor. So yeah.
Yeah, well, talking of tight ends, funnily enough, that's where we're going to go. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start tight ends?
No, you can go first, because obviously everybody will just laugh at you. You might as well go first.
We'll go first. I'll leave him for last. To be honest, I do want to mention that Colts tight end. He's not one of my picks, but just quickly, the reason why I've not put him on my list, actually, is because I prefer him. Warren and Josh Downs go round about the same round, and you can't have. I wouldn't have 2 weapons from the Colts personally. So unless you had Jonathan Taylor, that's different. But I wouldn't have 2 pass catching weapons for the Colts. So I'd much rather take Josh Downs rather than Warren. So that's why I'm not mentioning him in my tight end. But my first one.
No, before you start going on about Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
If Daniel Jones was a quarterback, would you have Jonathan Taylor have a better point season than he would if Richardson was a quarterback?
I'm not sure Richardson takes that much away for Jonathan Taylor.
He takes a lot from the goal line.
Yes.
He takes a lot of touchdowns.
But I don't know. Jonathan Taylor did really well last season still, though.
Yeah, but not talking about yards, I'm talking about points-wise. Obviously, Daniel Jones does occasionally, if they get that far, scramble it in. But for the most part, I think Jonathan Taylor would get the goal line touches. But
yeah,
when it's Richardson, his boy can't throw the flipping ball. So they just let him run it in.
But the thing is, well, that's what I'm saying, because of that, would under the other quarterback, does that give them more running downs, like more downs they're willing to run on? Like it's hard. Like I honestly don't think. See, for me, I'm happy. See what Jonathan Taylor is in ADP. I think he's a good pick, and whatever quarterback's starting wouldn't put me off him. You know what I mean? I would quite happily draft him at ADP. That's just where I am. So. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's that big enough difference for it to put me off him.
I just don't like Richardson at all.
Yeah, well, none of us have talked about him, so I don't think either of us are very high on him.
Anyway, your tight ends, we'll go for that one then.
Yeah, we'll go tight ends. So my first one, and it's I'm going to talk about two back-to-back again here because it's Terrace Ferguson and it's the Seahawks rookie tight end. Is it Ario? Is that how you pronounce it?
Elijah Arroyo.
Arroyo. And I've been drafting these guys a lot. Like, I'm one, like, let's not get into a tight end debate, but I'm one that prefers to take tight ends a bit later on in drafts. And so a lot of my drafts have gone Terrace Ferguson and Ario or Oreo back-to-back in back-to-back rounds. Yeah. So I just think the opportunity is going to be for them. It's obviously you're drafting rookies. And this is another thing. See, fantasy football. Fantasy football's changed a lot over the last 4 or 5 years. See, if you don't draft rookies, you're not going to win. Like, you need to draft rookies to get that late because they're lower down in drafts and they can outproduce where you draft them. And that's how you win championships. So I'm not saying you have to draft these rookies. I'm just saying get some rookies you like and draft them because you need rookies in your team to win. And because the tight end position, I like to leave it a bit later. This is where I tend to draft these rookie tight ends. And I just think they're going to get great opportunity. Like the Seahawks just got rid of Noah Fant. You just talked about how, well, other than JSN, if you don't like Cooper Kupp, who's going to catch the rest of these balls, you know? Yeah. And also for the Rams with Terrace Ferguson, McVay apparently he really wanted him in the draft. It was McVay that was pushing for him. Like, I'm not saying like, look, it's all talk, but I think there's some talk that you can not base your whole draft around. But see, when a coach says, "I'd like this guy, I think I can do something with him," I think you have to listen to that. And so I think the opportunity for Terrace Ferguson is going to be there. So these are two guys. They're both later. You can draft these guys really quite late. And I think they're going to get the opportunity.
Not surprisingly, Pez really likes Arroyo.
Yeah. Well, I think the coach said nice things about him as well.
Before the draft, I was in a couple of rookie drafts, and I picked up Ferguson quite a lot because to me, he was probably my favourite tight end at the lot, even the ones that are Loveland.
Oh, really?
Warren. I saw some highlights of him, and he looked bloody good, like. And where he is, he's got Tyler Higbee, who can't stay fit. Kobe Parkinson, who everybody drafted last year because he got paid but didn't go. Davis Allen, Anthony Torres, and Mark Redmond. So I wouldn't be, by then, just halfway through the season, Ferguson could be the number one tight end in that team. Everybody picks it up, and he's a big guy. So.
Yeah, you're right to bring that up, though, actually, and I should have brought that up. So well done, Johnny. Terrace Ferguson, the thing is, though, he is going to have to beat Higbee first. Like, he isn't. See, if you were to put the team sheets down right now, Higbee would start. You know, he would be the tight end. So Terrace Ferguson and at the start of the season in training camp, he needs to beat Higbee first before he even sees the field. So that is the thing with him. But I think he will beat him out eventually, and I do think towards a few games in, I think he will be the starting tight end for the Rams.
Whereas Elijah Arroyo is on the thing with the number one tight end ahead of AJ Barner and Eric Saubert and a couple of three others I can't pronounce. So
yeah, there's going to be a bit of a debate. There is going to be a debate though about that. Like, I think AJ Barner, I think he will see the field more, but as far as fantasy goes, I think Ario is going to see a lot more of the important offensive snaps. Like, he is going to be a part of the offense. Like, he is going to be a pass catcher. I think
it all depends
I think that Barner is going to be on the field more, but not so much as an attacking weapon, if that makes sense. Because you know what I mean? There's so many tight ends in the league. Yeah, a blocker or whatever else, you know. And my final tight end, you're going to love this one. It's Kyle Pitts. And I've never drafted Kyle Pitts before, or if I have, it's because he's dropped massive. Like, I've not been somebody that's been in on Kyle Pitts' season over the last few years. However, Kyle Pitts has dropped so far in drafts.
Did he drop so many balls?
Sorry? A few. He does. But he's dropped that far in drafts, and you know he's going to start as a tight end, just because of the draft capital alone, he's going. You know what I mean? He is going to be their starting tight end, and this is why I bring him up, because see if you are going to take a risk on these rookies, and you are thinking, well, are they going to start at the start of the season? Well, Kyle Pitts is going to start, and he's going to cost you nothing in drafts. He is going to cost you basically nothing. I've seen see these two rookies that I've mentioned. See Terrace Ferguson. I've seen Terrace Ferguson go before Pitts.
Oh yeah.
So like Pitts has dropped so far. I think Pitts is just for value alone, just to have a guy on your bench or to start while your rookies develop. I think Pitts is just for value. I think he's a pick. I'm not saying base your team around him, but see if he's sitting there and you're in the later rounds, I think he's a great pickup, Pitts, right now. And this is where you tell me he can't catch the ball. He's going to get, he's a great value later on, but he's going to get you 0 points every week. So
the daft thing is, though, well, you actually get some points in there because you get points per target, but you might connect with Penix, and he might drop a lot of balls, but now and again he'll make up like some of the catches he's had to make like from behind his back. It's pretty impressive, but it's like he has no separation for a big guy. He got 4 touchdowns last year, I think it was.
Actually, you know what? That's more than what I thought you were going to say it was.
Yeah. I think it was 4. I'll have to look that up. I think it came tight end 15.
Like, I'm not saying Pitts is like, I'm not saying you're going to draft him later on and he's going to be a top 5 tight end, a top 6. Like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that for where he's going, he can get you by in a pin. Like, Kyle Pitts might end up being a top 10 tight end, and for the most part, see, outside the top 5 or 6 tight ends, they're not really relevant for scoring, really. But if you're punting the position, you're not going to get one of those guys anyway. So, like, Pitts is so late. And if you're thinking Terrace Ferguson could be a top 5 tight end, but you just don't think he's going to start the season, well, you just plug in Pitts for the first few weeks and he'll get you there until Terrace Ferguson's took over.
Just play him against Tampa Bay. Because last year he scored 25 points and 30 points.
No, you take that every week, eh?
he scored 2 touchdowns against Tampa Bay, 1 against Pittsburgh week 1, and 1 against Washington in week 17. That was his 4 touchdowns.
Kyle Pitts is not going to be putting up 30 points. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for where he is, I think he's great value. Like, and who knows what can happen, eh? I just think he's a great value for where he's going. Like, everyone is so out on the guy, which he's like Travis Etienne for me. I think he's dropped too far. Yes, he's not what he should have been, but I just think he's dropped too far.
It was the same a few years ago when I picked Miles Sanders up when he was with the Eagles. Because the year before he had the carries but no touchdowns. So I drafted him and he did really well because he bounced back. But how many bounce backs can Kyle Pitts actually have? He scored more 0 points than double points last year.
I mean, that is a worrying thing to hear. But like I said, I just think he's dropped a bit far. Sure. Right, Johnny, what about where are you going tight end?
I'll obviously I have to go for, to my personal number, Trey McBride. He's a catching machine. All he needs is a touchdowns, and he'd be by far the best tight end.
He might get them this season. He's going to score more touchdowns than he did last.
1 or 2. Yeah, he had so many receptions last year. He had 111 receptions last year. Bowers had 112, but he got every catch. But he had 1,184 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got 147 targets. Bowers got 153. So
I think Trey McBride will definitely score more touchdowns. Like, definitely. Yeah. So definitely. Straight away you can see. But my thing is with him, Bowers is now like what? I've seen Bowers be 5th overall in drafts now, and because of that, Trey McBride's like a first round at the end of the first, back of the second now. So at the start of the second round, like on the turn. Like, are you willing to draft him that high?
No, because I don't. Well, it's hard because I don't really trust Kyler Murray. That's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? But no, he's a class player, and he's done it a couple of years now. But so yeah. But my next one, I was going to go Dalton Kincaid because he is a good writer, but just for the Bills. But I have to go Dallas Goddard. When he's fit, he's probably the second favourite target for
Hurts.
ahead of Smith. He likes hitting Goddard. Goddard gets a lot of early catches, short catches, first down catches. You'll not get the deep ones. You'll get the catches. So
You like his volume.
I like his volume. I know he got injured last year.
Yeah, he did. See, the other thing about what's good with Goddard, see if one of these wide receivers go down, he becomes like Bowers. Like Goddard, like he suddenly gets like 10 catches a game. He's like, if one of these wide receivers go down, they use him a lot.
He had 52 receptions, targets last year for 42 receptions, 2 touchdowns and 496 yards. But he had 11 yards per reception, so it's not bad for our tight end. He only plays 70% of the snaps because he missed a lot of games. But when he was fit, because he played a few games when he wasn't fit, but when he was fit, he is one of Hurts' favourite targets. So
he is going a bit later in drafts as well. You can get him quite late. Eh?
I've been picking Ferguson up, then him up a couple of rounds later. Like
so he's in that. Yeah, so he's in that. He's like a 10th round pick then, eh? 8th round.
Yeah, something like that. Like I picked up Jake Ferguson, the Cowboys, quite a lot. And then after that, a couple of rounds later, I usually pick up Goddard.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe this one will be different, but yeah.
That Jake Ferguson just got a new deal as well.
Yeah, because he's a good target for Prescott too. And he missed a couple of games last year as well, I'm pretty sure. But that's another good one. He could have made my list, but Goddard there. And obviously my last one, Mason Taylor of the Jets.
Oh, we're talking a lot of rookie tight ends here, Johnny. We like our rookie tight ends.
These are the ones you're going to pick at the end. You know, the last 3 rounds, you're probably going to get them. Maybe not Arroyo, depending on how much Pez talks him up in another show. But these are the ones you want somebody for a punt later on. Mason Taylor will probably end up being the number 1 tight end. And Justin Fields, if I remember rightly, like thrown to his tight ends when he was with the Bears. Bears? Yeah. I think he does like jumping it off to the tight ends. So give it a punt.
I think you're right. I think Mason Taylor. I think these 3 rookies, Ario, Terrace Ferguson, and Mason Taylor. I like taking a punt on these guys. They're basically free in drafts, and the rookie tight end, it's changed. You know, like 3 years.
Okay, well, not be long, maybe 20 minutes. But okay. Sorry, the daughter came in to talk. She wants to go in the paddling pool, but one of us has to watch her.
That's all right.
Well, 2 more things to talk about. We'll do. At the end of last year, we had a chat about who we thought was going to go in the first round. So this is the list that we came up with. That was a sort of rough order. So, are any of those in there that will not go in the first round? No.
Well, Tyreek Hill straight away.
Ashton Jeanty is going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much a nailed on now, eh? Jeanty. He seems to be a nailed on first round pick. Nico Collins is kind of fallen. He's still drafted high, but he's more. It seems to be a second round. Who else is in there? I think Saquon will go towards the end of the first. I don't think he'll be first. I think Saquon will go like maybe 6th. And CMC, I tell you what, I don't think we're far away for that prediction though. CMC, AJ Brown. You know what I mean? I think that's quite close.
Yeah, I think I took CMC the 107 in one draft just because I think he's just going to do well this year. Plus all the catching as well.
That's the kind of pick you make to win a championship because, you know what I mean, CMC could be a league winner this year. You just don't know.
Last year when I took on the 101. And the last pick I thought I was doing well picking Mitchell as a backup and it's fucking Garendo. Because we finished the draft pretty quick. And I think it was about a day or so later, Mitchell went an IR as well. I was like,
like sometimes you get lucky.
That's the problem with finishing the draft quick is that we got stung with that one. And a lot of people, obviously, the draft is still going on, they picked up Garendo.
So I think so. We made this right at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think it was right after the Super Bowl. So I think we did not too bad. Like obviously Tyreek Hill, that's a big X. We got that one wrong.
Well,
Saquon, I think he'll go.
You could chuck out Tyreek Hill and put in Bowers, because he'll probably go in the top 10.
Yeah, but I think that's CMC AJ Brown. I mean, I think that's pretty. I think AJ Brown might sneak into the first. You don't know. It just depends how somebody likes him.
Unless it's an Eagles fan, I doubt it. And possibly Nico Collins falling out and Genty going in his place.
Yes.
Yes. To see how we can check that later on with the ADP and see how our predictions went on.
Definitely. So is it just? We just got one more thing to hit, I think.
Yeah, the IDPs you wanted me to talk about.
So
I'm not an expert, but yeah.
So so you want to talk about your two guys first?
Right. Well, yeah, I can do, because obviously the second highest scorer last year in the IDPs was actually DB and Buda Baker, who is just like a fantasy points machine. He had one fumble force, he had 164 tackles, and he had 2 sacks. So he also comes up for sacks now in a game. But it's the tackles that gets you the points. And usually linebackers get that many, but they're obviously that bad and everybody's thrown against them and he's battering them as they catch the ball or they're running through the linebackers. But 164 tackles.
It's their defensive. It's like their defensive scheme's built around them, and that's why he's great to watch as well when you're watching him.
He's got a cool name as well. It does help.
But it does help. You know, cool names matter in fantasy. I don't care what anyone says.
And the second one was a bit of an anomaly because he started off really well. He had a couple of games where he just disappeared. But then there are a few other defensive players in that team, like Zaire Franklin, who gets a lot of tackles. There was Nick Cross.
He was number one, I think.
Yeah, he was. So it's pretty hard to get all the points when he gets a lot of them. But yeah, Nick Cross had 145 tackles and 1,000 defensive snaps, 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions, and 1 sack. But he was only rostered by 74% of the league. So,
well, Nick Cross was one of my IDP last year. I did have him, and he was towards the end of the season. You're right in what you're saying. He became a bit more boom or bust. But see, for a large chunk of it, he was so dependable. He was good last season, Nick Cross.
I think I picked him up in the week 2 or 3, and when I saw how good he was getting on, I think the person I played with did nothing.
Well, the one thing I want to mention about IDP, and it's good, Johnny, that you brought up 2 DBs, because in general, see if you're not sure about IDP in Orkney, it's just flex, so you don't have to pick one of each position or anything. You can just pick any. And in general, linebackers are what you want to pick. So each team has to pick 2 IDPs, and it's a 12-team league in your divisions. So the top 24, so that means every team's got 2 IDP. The top 24, there was only 3 DBs in it. We've talked about 2. Johnny brought up Buda Baker and Nick Cross, and there was a third one who I can't remember who he was off the top of my head. But so you think out of 24, only 3 would.
Bayard.
Oh yeah, Kevin Bayard.
Is he related to that Jonathan Bayard that was a DB?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, can't be that many by that name. But anyway, sorry to interrupt. There you go.
No, it's fine. Thank you for helping me. I just can't remember who he was.
He was 22nd.
Yeah, so he only just snuck in. So out of 24 starting IDPs, the top scoring ones, only 3 were DBs. So straight away, you can see that linebackers are just a safer bet and really what you should be drafting. And for the ones that like the defensive linemen, and I know they're great on TV, we love them, but for Orkney scoring IDP, defensive linemen don't get enough points. And I've looked at it for the leaders to find the first defensive lineman. He was ranked 61. That's right, 61. So even if you were to draft, every team was to draft 3 IDPs, so that's 2 starters and 1 bench, the first defensive lineman still isn't in the top scorers. Defensive linemen they're not good scorers when you're having the full flex IDP. So if you're unsure about IDP, stick away from defensive linemen. They don't score enough points. Stick with linebackers. And hey, if there's a DB you like and you want to take a punt on them, you can do it. And what I will say, if you include, so if we were to say every team drafted three IDPs, so that would be 2 starters and 1 bench. So that would be 36 players. More DBs do pop up. See, between 24 and 36, there is more DBs do pop up. So at points during the season, I did have a backup IDP. I did have 3 on my roster. But for your starting 2, you really want to be looking at the linebacker position, because this is the most reliable position for points. Unless you know, like, okay, Johnny, you've mentioned 2 here. You've mentioned Buda Baker and Nick Cross. If you know a DB who you think is going to be brilliant, hey, you can take a punt on him. I'm not saying you can't. But for the most part, it is the linebacker position. But for the love of God, please don't be drafting defensive linemen. Please. Like, I mean, they're just not relevant.
Or draft like 4 defenders. Pork. Arthur.
Yeah.
Not that I'm naming any names, but there is 1 or 2 that do go a bit mental with.
How many rounds is there in the Orkney? I'll need to double check.
24, is it? Sorry,
is it 20?
Draft pick.
Yeah. So as I say, like there's like maybe a low 20 picks in the Orkney scoring. Okay. If you're unsure about IDP, I promise you, see if you don't take one till like the 17th, 18th round, you'll be fine. There will be some people that take them higher because there's a guy they know that scores a lot of points and they're right into him. And I'm not saying they're wrong, it might work. I'm just saying if you're really unsure, leave your IDPs till a lot later in the draft. Don't be thinking, oh, I need to go and get an IDP, because you can pick up these guys on the waivers for free most of the time. You know?
20 rounds it is. It's 24 by charitable.
Sorry, so it's 20 rounds. So see if you're waiting until like the 15th, 16th round, that is totally fine. Or even later, you know, don't feel pressured if you're not sure about IDP that, all right, it's the 12th round and I've not got an IDP yet. I need to quickly, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. But my biggest tip is don't draft defensive linemen.
And of course, you will have to pick a kicker, and this will be the last year, because looking like the poll will be going in favour of no kicker next year and a flex instead. And not
Johnny,
a superflex, Danny, because I hate superflex.
Is it Christmas, Johnny?
Is that?
No kickers, it must be Christmas.
Well, I'll go with the vote, but you just have to remind me at the off season to get rid of the kicker. But yeah,
so next,
unlike Danny, I am not doing superflex. I hate superflex. I like getting the wide receiver running back out the way, not having to worry about bloody fucking quarterbacks in the first couple of picks.
And before everyone moans, yes, it is a dictatorship. This is Johnny's league. This is his baby. You're lucky you got to vote for kickers, all right? Well, guys, this was just a quick video to see the kind of things we're going to be doing. This is just an extra show. It'll be different. So anything that's kind of missed in other shows, just things we might think that are interesting, we'll stick them on this show. Hopefully you found this useful for your drafts coming up. And I wish everyone the best of luck in your drafts.
Unless they're in my division, then you can go suck it and give me all the good players. But one thing we will be doing in this show is we'll be giving weekly updates on the Rousey Cup. Because that never gets mentioned. Because Craig doesn't think it's important, even though it's a separate competition. So it will get mentioned here. That'll be specialised with a Rousey Cup section each week.
We'll actually do a show to fully explain the Rousey Cup. Actually, we will do that. It'll not be a long video, but we'll just, because a lot of folk maybe don't understand it, so we'll do a quick explanation of what goes on.
Yes, but not tonight. I better go and watch my daughter in the pool. Sorry,
Johnny. Thanks.
Right,
it was great talking to me again, Johnny.
It was good chat, and good luck starting in tomorrow morning. Less than 12 hours.
Oh, it's exciting.
So that was a fun show.